Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Artie Lange Show. I'm sitting here with an interesting guy, an interesting cat, as we say sometimes in show business, if you're real hip, if I could be so Miles Davis on you. Dan St. Germain. Dan, what's up, buddy?
Hey, I'm like thrilled to be here. My dad's a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. This is like a big, this is like a big deal
wow,
for
really?
me.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
totally.
That's
yeah,
nice
I read
to
the
hear.
book in Beer League, and I listened to you forever on Howard. So this is. I was actually like nervous to come on here. My dad was like much more excited about that than my special coming out. He's like, "Are you seeing Artie tonight?"
Well, that's cool. Where are you from?
I'm from Rutherford originally.
Rutherford,
New Jersey.
Right by Route 17.
Yeah, and then they moved to Westchester when I was in high school.
Giant land. Okay.
Yeah.
And how old are you?
I'm 28.
Okay, so that's right. So that's funny. That makes sense. So you were a teenager when I was on the Stern Show, and your father. And so, well, that's nice to hear. Now, what made you want to get into stand-up comedy?
I had like a really bad breakup, so I started doing a puppet show with a breakup, and then.
That was a lot of information to process.
Yeah.
You had a bad breakup
in college. Yeah.
In college.
Yeah.
Made you, and now you thought stand-up would be therapeutic.
Yeah, I was like wasted, and I was like, someone's got to hear my stories.
And you got a puppet?
Yeah, I had these like cardboard puppets of the breakup involved like China and David Duchovny, and it was like, yeah.
Wait. China and David Duchovny?
Yeah, they would like, she was like sleeping with Duchovny. It was like, I haven't done that bit in like 4.5 years.
China the wrestler?
Yeah, China. That's who I like. I can't say it on air, but I have to perform something for China. I can't really talk
This
about it.
This is a dream, you mean?
No, this was like a bit I used to do.
Oh, a bit, okay.
Yeah, and then I stopped doing the puppet thing when I got over her.
We had X-Pac on the show last Friday.
Oh,
who
yeah?
Did that movie with China.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen it. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Night in China, yeah.
I heard it was anatomically.
Provocative. No, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Don't see it. It's like watching a beheading.
At the end of it.
No, it is. It's like if you watch one of those Al Qaeda beheadings, you go, I wish I hadn't watched.
Yeah. At the end of it, they cut to black like they get in The Sopranos.
Right. It's just there's that Journey song. So now it says you went to rehab twice.
I did outpatient first time, so that's like JV.
Outpatient is JV.
That doesn't
rehab.
count. That's like going a quarter.
I hate it. It's like so non-committal. I mean, as soon I did outpatient a couple times in rehab. The second I left, I got drugs.
Yeah.
Like the second I left.
It's just a networking. It's like prison, when you network, it's kind of like that.
I was late a bunch of times, and if you're late, they don't let you go in the group therapy if the counselor's a real stickler. And a lot of times you hook up. I made out with a chick who was very pretty.
Right.
I didn't go any further than making out, but we were both late for group therapy at a rehab. And the guy wouldn't let us in, so we started talking.
I think that's how Amelie starts. It's the same way.
So now what happened with you? What'd you have to go for?
Like I remember I was on with I did Mark Maron's WTF.
Yeah.
And I started talking about like drinking and cocaine and
did you do
pills.
a lot of blow?
I did. I mean, like I was a movie usher at the time, so it would be like I was eating popcorn and then whatever I could afford.
You can't get blow as a rich man's drug.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, you can't get it.
No, I mean, so I would drink, and I was on WTF, and then Mike DiStefano, God bless his soul, came on and he goes, "You did
Great
coke?
man.
I've been doing heroin and crack. Get the hell out of here!" Like he totally made me feel
Well, if you're
like a kid.
If you're not hardcore enough for a group because you're just doing coke, you're in trouble.
Right,
You're
that's
in a
true.
So you went to outpatient and then
and then I got, I did like 2.5 years. I did 2.5, 3 years sober, and then I got like over a year back because I went back out.
You
I went back
relapsed.
out.
You relapsed.
Yeah.
What age were you when you first got sober?
I started going to meetings when I was like 23. And
My first one ever was 27 in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Because I had finally gotten something in my life that was worth living for. I got on a TV show, and I was the most shallow of reasons. Like, wait, I might be famous. I could be John Stamos. So I was making money, and I thought maybe one day I could buy my mom a house. I was like, well, at least let me live till I buy her a house. So I went to my first AA meeting in Los Angeles when I was 27 years old. But at 22, that's a big 5-year difference. I got a lot of respect for you because that's strength at that age.
I mean, I just wasn't good at it. You know what I mean? Like,
Who is?
It's weird when you're in meetings and then you have a guy being like, "Man, I was good at drinking." I'm like, "No, you weren't. You're here.
Why are you here?" Yeah, exactly.
You're not
Jackie Gleason. Jackie Gleason was good at drinking.
Right. You're not the Dos Equis guy.
Drank from the age of, I think, 3 till 71.
Yeah.
And just dropped dead at 71 with a cigarette and a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Not everybody's like that.
No, not at all.
Right.
And I mean, that was, you know, if you're like crying while peeing yourself at the same time, it's like the towel's been thrown in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's done. You know, you're not going to be in the club in the VIP room. You're going to be naked at a Best Buy.
But so many people, right? But so many people after they cry. And while they're peeing themselves, they don't even get it at that point. They still keep drinking and drugging, you know. They don't.
No, because it's something else that was the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, it always was. That was my big thing. Like, no, it's not me. It's you, officer. And the fact that you were picked on in high school. So now you, so the second time that it took, now you have a year now?
No, over a year, yeah.
Oh, good for you, man.
Yeah.
That's really great.
No, it's been good. It's been good. It was like, and rehab was like, you know, it was kind of fun. Like, there was weird stuff about it. Like,
now, this is the inpatient rehab.
Yeah, this is the
Where'd you
inpatient.
go?
Like Seabrook House and set. Who my Seabrook House homies at?
I always say that. When I mention my rehab ambrosia, I go Tigers. Like you played for the softball team or something. But so where was this place?
It was in South Jersey.
Okay.
And I mean, like, they would do stuff like they brought us into a room and played like Fire and Rain until we cried. James Taylor's.
Dude, same thing. Music therapy.
Yeah.
With me, it was You've Got a Friend. There's always a James Taylor song. With us, it was You've Got a Friend. This guy played amazing. This guy's name was Petey.
Yeah.
And once a week, he'd come in with his acoustic guitar. Looked kind of like you, John. He was like a nice, a big guy, but affable. Not dangerous, but a friendly guy. Played acoustic guitar, and he was like, You've Got a Friend. Like a room full of addicts was going, I've got a friend. I've got a friend. And that's what they do, right?
Yeah, I mean, we had like, I always say, I have a bit about this. Like, you know, you screwed up in life if you're in an open field with a bunch of other recovering alcoholics and drug addicts, and out of nowhere, a therapist brings in a horse for you to pet. You've gotten as low as you can possibly go if you have to learn how to re-pet stuff.
I used to do a joke about, that's the thing about, you know, once you start having a lot of jokes in your act about it, you know, you might be doing too much. But people would say to me, Art, what's a wild night of drinking? And this is my first DVD. I used to say, a wild night of drinking to me is when you drink so much that eventually you pass out. And when you wake up, you're naked in a police car with two cops. But the weird part is you're driving. You know, if you start having like jokes that insightful about drugging and drinking, then, you know, maybe you need help.
This is too specific at this point.
It's exactly what happened. Wow, so something, but you know, you laugh at rehab. Most people do, but then as you look back, something must have worked. Right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know. I guess, I mean, today it has, you know, but...
You look good, you're healthy. You're
thanks.
young,
I dropped, there's me. I was on the John Oliver stand-up show last year, and there's like me. It was like, I was like 40, 50 pounds. I looked like I was about to, like, blow up.
You
know,
it was
like me. Bad. What?
Let's face it, you look like me right now. But that's okay. I mean, John, did you ever consider rehab? I mean, you were always fine.
No, I did the outpatient stuff too.
Oh, you did?
You did?
Yeah,
We never knew that. You don't have to say this. I mean, if it's too personal.
No, it was for depression. I struggle.
Now, do you think? I'm there with you too.
I don't know,
too.
and alcohol too.
But
I
do you
struggle
think
with alcohol.
what came first, though? Do you think alcohol caused depression, or depression?
I
You
don't
were
know.
depressed, so you drank.
I don't know. It was. I think I had trouble dealing with rejection because
Me too,
in my life, everything was just charmed. You know, I wasn't rejected until I was 31 years
You're a
old.
football player.
When
That's
I
when
got
they finally
cut.
told you can't play in the NFL anymore.
I got cut, and then I failed my physical in Cincinnati, and it was like, oh my, what am I supposed to
Most
do?
NFL guys,
Right.
Well,
And
they
I don't
go
know.
through it,
I don't know what the correlation is between being repeatedly concussed and depression and
I'll tell you what.
alcohol
you keep getting
abuse.
hit in the head.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
it's
know. I
true.
just know that I was very depressed and you know, had the whole family intervention, family and friends. And,
Would drinking make you feel better? Did it work all the
sure,
time?
I would think so.
Well,
but
you know
then-
what happened with me was, I don't know if this happened to you too, but I don't know, like eventually it stopped working. Even the booze didn't work. You know, like even the booze didn't make me feel better. Maybe an initial 30-second rush, but then it was gone, right?
Or at that, like, the last time it was just to stop shaking. You know what I mean? It wasn't like,
Well, you got the-
it was just like
you
the physical, it was
physically
the
need it.
anxiety. Yeah, it was like, Because I have a lot of anxiety, depression issues too.
Yeah.
And now I'm medicated with that. This is like we're just jumping into it, right? But
let's do it.
Like
I mean, by the way, could we be three bigger whiners? We're, successful comics and NFL guys. Like,
because there's somebody in Haiti eating trash.
Why even go to Haiti? Cut to someone right downstairs. Throw a rock, you'll hit a guy who's worse off than us.
My mom just wasn't there.
Yeah, I've got anxiety. Really? I'm sleeping on a broken beer bottle. But the anxiety is
right.
If anyone's really ever had it to the point, like I've had those anxiety things but see, to me, they weren't made up. They were real reasons. Like right. I had anxiety because I owed a bookie $20,000 that I had a grand.
Oh my God!
And I had a grand to my name. So I was like, and I couldn't tell my mother why I had anxiety. I can't get into it. Right. I don't want to tell her that.
Jeez, yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah,
that's really terrifying.
What do you think yours came from?
I think a lot of the stuff was career stuff, and it still is in some ways.
You worried about money or just acceptance?
Totally.
Yeah,
and both. I mean, both. It's like that thing. But there's other stuff too. I mean, I found too it's like a really horrible snake eating its own tail thing because and even now if you're manic and drunk, you find yourself in disastrous situations, making horrible decisions with women and other people, and then you perseverate on it. So you get bored, you do something horrible.
Is perseverate a word?
I think it is. You know what? I'm not really sure because I used to. It's one of those things where I just said it was.
That's
great,
what
it's when you say you're like, oh yeah, I've read To Kill a Mockingbird, and then you just keep using it.
For the first time ever, I'm going to write something down that
I don't even. I think it is.
Perseverate. So go ahead.
I'll check it out.
I didn't go to one of the good schools.
So you're perceiving stuff in your head.
Yeah. Well, then you just keep it's obsessive behavior. You keep.
Right.
You keep thinking about that thing, but then you cause a new thing. You know what I mean?
No, if you worry too much, exactly, you will cause more problems.
Yeah.
And then you're really in deep.
I remember in college, after I would black out, I would wake up the next morning, I would have to go through my school phone directory and see I was like, did I hit him? What did I do with that? What did I do? And you'd have to I'd make the apology,
That's an ominous feeling.
Oh,
yeah,
it is.
Sure.
It is. The worst ever, though, is being on the road, and this happened to me several times, and waking up in the Hawthorne Suites room, or whatever, a La Quinta Inn room, and you wake up and you that plastic ice bucket is right there in front of you, and the plastic bag is draped over the side a little bit, and there's some dirty water in it, so ice was in the room at some point, and it had melted, and then you realize the night before you spoke publicly. And people paid to hear you speak publicly, and you were supposed to be maybe witty. You were being paid to be funny, and you don't remember a thing you said.
Yeah,
right. You spoke publicly, and you don't remember what you call the manager of the club, and you go, Randy, how'd it go last night? And you just don't know what happened.
Yeah, that's I think the craziest story I heard about somebody in entertainment doing that was Stephen King doesn't remember writing Cujo. He wrote it in a blackout. Yeah. He's like,
that's
I
the
remember.
Best ever.
Yeah, he doesn't remember it. He goes, I remember enjoying it once I read it.
That's great.
He was like that because he would have a case of booze with him and whiskey. And
how much does a struggling young novelist want to strangle him though? It takes them 40 years to write one page that's halfway decent. He writes a bestseller in a blackout. I did a Conan appearance in a blackout. Not the one we just played, although you might have thought of it. But the second to last one, I write about it in my new book. Crash and Burn out this fall. But I did a whole Conan appearance.
Right.
Panel, an interview.
You don't remember.
And it's on the internet. I watch it sometimes just to scare myself. I watch it sometimes just to scare the living hell out of me.
Were you funny on it, though?
Drug use. Well, I kept interrupting them.
Yeah.
And I had done about 20 Conans. It's my worst one ever.
Right.
But I got some last, but I think the last one was people scared. And I kept interrupting him, and I saw he was very annoyed.
Yeah.
And that's scary. Yeah.
I was actually an intern when you were on Conan.
Oh, really?
One day. And I remember you were one of the nicest guests because I was carrying all the key grip stuff or whatever, and you actually kept the elevator door open. And all the other guys were just yep, bye. And you watch it.
Can't anything I can do, buddy. I can see you were out of anxiety.
Yeah, exactly.
So wait, you were an intern at NBC?
I was a PA then, but I was an intern before that. I was horrible because it would be I was just a terrible PA.
Were you one of the classic NBC pages? Did you? Do
No,
that?
I wasn't good enough to do that. Like my dad, my dad was like a writer on the Cosby Show and stuff like that. Yeah, and he basically just called the producer up and was like, "Hey, can you help out my son?" And like I would be with these guys who were great, but they realized quickly that I had no technical experience, so I would just like buy him cigarettes, so like that. It was like kind of a disaster.
Yeah, my uncle got me a job working on a construction site, carpenters, and my uncle Frankie would say, "Listen, go tell him you're a journeyman. It's $22 an hour, and you make it. Just go there." And you gotta look for a guy named Panucci. Tell him you're a journeyman carpenter. And I go, Uncle Frank, what does that mean? What do they think I'm gonna just do it? Nobody's gonna care. So I go, I'm a journeyman. And the guy goes, right, make a header. And I go, what's a header? And the guy just wanted to strangle me, like.